South yesterday. Now, we can bring you more about financial news, and Medibank Private will make its debut on the Australian Stock Exchange this morning. It's been very popular with mum and dad investors who snapped up those shares at a discount.
Now, the float exceeded expectations, raising close to $5.7 billion.
It's the second biggest float in Australian history after Telstra, which was sold in 3 tranches. And there's going to be a lot of global attention because the listing of Medibank Private will be the 3rd biggest initial public offering this year. And one of the reasons that the share price might move up, in addition to the popularity, is that the institutions weren't able to get as many shares as they wanted. They were only able to get 40% of the float, where retail investors have got 60%. So a lot of early buying by those institutions to get hold of this hot property might push that share price up.
Which means people might be able to take what they call a stag profit. What does that mean?
I love the word stag.
Rod North from Bourse Communications joins us now.
As in profits.
What is a stag profit?
A stag profit means when you're issued shares in an IPO like Medibank Private and you sell on day one, you stag the shares, and generally you want to be stagging them at a profit.
Well, there's no point selling them at a loss.
Exactly.
Otherwise you've got to hang on to them for a long time until they come back up again.
Because the stag has horns and...
Well, you know, I mean, the old sort of scenario of bull and bear used to be that the bear falls, you know, down on its prey, whereas the bull tosses it up. And I'm not actually sure about this.
Stag would with its horns.
The stag, I think, can be a bit. I think the stag can be unpredictable.
I think it. No, don't worry about it.
Go on.
No. We'll leave it for another time. Now, what's happening in China?
In China, well, we had that prize rate cut over the weekend, which of course was good news for the market because it's the first time in 2 years that China's dropped their rates. The only issue, of course, is as to whether the Chinese banks actually pass those rates on, because it's a little bit different over there than they are here. We have a tendency that we do have to pass the rates on here, but it doesn't always happen in China. So I think that's given the market a bit of a lift, and of course we've seen the Dow heading motoring towards sort of 18,000 at the moment. Yet our market's moved up, but our market's been a bit sort of lacklustre in terms of where it actually should be relative to to other markets.
And this is despite going back to Medibank, a record number of initial public offerings coming onto the market.
Yes, well, in fact, this year is probably the best year we've seen since 1997. If you add Medibank Private, which is $5.7 billion raised, to the total, we've got $15.9 billion for this year. So, I mean, that's really sort of a very significant number. We haven't seen those numbers for a long time. And, of course, with Medibank Private, it really is signalling, I think, to a lot of mums and dads investors is an opportunity to get into the market and get into a company that, you know, potentially can perhaps perform a lot better over the course of the next few years.
We've been talking a lot all this year, of course, about retail and the particularly parlous position that sector is in. So here comes Christmas. How good is it looking?
There's good news coming. I think it's there's an expectation that normally in December you obviously get a big lift. IBIS World sort of expecting 35% increase there.
How does that compare to previous Christmas?
That compares. That'll be about 5.5% up.
Okay.
And the usual sort of suspects like gaming consoles. I've got a son who's finished year 12 who I think's gone into gaming mode.
I was going to say the whole summer is just going to be this, those thumbs. Yeah.
That's exactly right. So there'll be a huge amount of dollars, you know, going in there, and obviously products like Apple and so forth as well.
And how did he go in year 12? Is he all right?
We don't know until
I don't
the 15th
know the results, but how does he feel about it?
I think he feels pretty good. He quite liked the English and the lit paper, and Revolutions was a bit tricky, but I'm sure he'll be okay. So he wants to get into Melbourne Uni. Keep our fingers crossed.
Yep. Good luck.
Good luck, yeah.
Good on you, Rod. Nice to see you.
Terrific,
Thanks so much. Yes, gaming.
Gaming, yes, is very popular.
The thumbs.
It's bad for the thumbs.
Can I just